Hey, what's going on, guys? My name is CarQ, and today I'm going to be the one giving you one Zenyatta tip versus every hero. As always, I start these videos out with a general tip to follow first. Anytime you're fighting someone, there is absolutely no excuse not to weave in your Discord orb as soon as your primary fire comes out. So you shoot Discord, and an animation cancels so you lose no time and your APM can stay the same. If you Discord a little late after primary fire, you will compromise your firing rate just a little bit, and in a game like Overwatch where every second counts, it could be the difference between life or death. Another tip I have, for PC users only, is that I recommend binding Discord and Harmony Orb on your mouse wheel. Discord Orb is bound to E by default, so you actually have to lift a finger off of a movement key to Discord someone, compared to scroll wheel spamming, which guarantees marking someone as soon as they're in line of sight. Alright, with that out of the way, let's get started. Whenever you use Transcendence for your team and there is an enemy Doomfist, he can still one-shot a lot of heroes if they're close to a wall. Try to body block and walk in front of a charging Doomfist to ensure you take the hit since you are invincible. A very good way to help you duel Genji up close is to start charging your secondary fire to bait out the deflect. Good Genji players reactively deflect upon hearing you charge at least 2 orbs since they can die to 2 headshots while discorded. Anyways, as soon as you see the deflect, you have 2 options. 1. If he dashed into you before deflecting, I would recommend keeping your charge for the 5 orbs and try to land all of them as soon as the animation is over. Or number 2, if you didn't see him dash, I would charge your secondary fire and cancel it immediately with your melee as soon as you bait out the deflect. This allows you to quickly react and turn 180 to adjust to his fast movements with each individual orb, as opposed to missing and locking yourself in the secondary fire animation. And of course, don't forget to use Transcendence against his Dragon Blade, it's a huge counter for it. Against McCree, try to play against him outside of his effective range, which is roughly 20 meters or more. McCree's 70 damage body shot eventually scales down to 21 damage once you reach a certain distance, while Zenyatta has no damage drop off, meaning trading hits will be in your favor since you do 46 normally and 60 with the Discord orb. If Pharah ends up using her rocket barrage a little too low in the air, she can actually kill herself if you use Transcendence close enough to the point where the rockets splash back at her. Here's an example of me doing this in a game.
Oh, did she kill herself off my body? Oh my god.
If he uses Death Blossom into you and your team, you have enough time to use Transcendence to counter it. It doesn't kill you fast enough unless your reaction time is really poor. If he Death Blossoms and you're safely out of his range, a simple Discord orb and a couple of shots will take him down very easily since he moves slow and linear during his ult. A very important tip for Zen versus a soldier is to recognize whether you need to use Transcendence versus his tactical visor. Your ultimate is much better suited against enemy ults that are harder to counter, like Zarya Grab and Genji's Blade, but against visor, people can break line of sight, hide behind shields, or use defense matrix to negate a lot of it. So assess these factors first before reactively ulting upon hearing his audio cue. Against Sombra, I would instantly switch off Zenyatta because you are her #1 target after every EMP since it destroys your 150 HP shield instantly, making you an easy pick. However, if you're insistent on playing him, you can reactively use Transcendence if you're expecting the EMP. Use it as soon as you hear her unstealthing or see a translocator thrown into the air, but don't get baited by it. This matchup is actually a lot more skill based than people think. You need to have good left-right movements to avoid being one-clipped by Tracer and to immediately Discord and pray you land a shot or 2 to force her recall. If she gets too close, a discorded headshot into melee can kill her immediately. For Bastion, as long as he's in sentry mode and not behind a shield, it's very easy to keep up the pressure to consistently force him out and knock him back into recon mode. You can't miss since he's not moving, but it is impossible to kill him with the full secondary fire if he's at full HP due to his 20% damage reduction with Ironclad and being unable to headshot him unless you're hitting his blue spot in the back. Hanzo has a huge advantage at range because your hitbox is easier to hit compared to his, and his arrow projectiles travel much faster than yours, giving him a more accurate shot overall. My advice? Don't challenge him unless you're behind a shield. Nothing more to say about this matchup. For some reason, some people believe you can walk over Junkrat's trap because you're levitating as Zenyatta. This is absolutely not true, and I don't know why people keep saying this. So other than that, a situational tip is to walk towards a Riptire to entice the Junkrat to detonate it on you rather than your group teammates, then time your Transcendence to go invulnerable. If she catches a bunch of people in the blizzard, a good counter is the Transcendence since she can only deal 150 damage max with an icicle headshot at close range. In 1v1s, if you're about to be frozen, you can quickly turn 180 and look down to avoid being headshot. This tip is not limited to just Zenyatta since it can apply to everybody. If a Torb turret is not sitting behind a shield, it is extremely easy for you to destroy it since it doesn't move and you have no damage drop off. Take matters in your hand and be the one to take it out by charging your secondary fire behind a wall and quickly peeking to minimize the damage taken. Honestly, against good Widowmakers, it is extremely risky to peek for cheeky secondary fires. She's way more likely to hit a shot than you are at that range. My advice is to just stay out of line of sight of her or stay behind a shield if you're going to harass her from a distance. Against D.Va, you can use her self-destruct as a tool to displace yourself during the Transcendence since you're invulnerable. Here's a fantastic clip from Phozix that demonstrates this tip.
This is perfect. We can try to get up high ground here? Perfect.
Just be careful not to fall off the map.
Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry, don't worry.
Against teams that run Orisa, Zen is the best support to supplement the team's damage to help break the shield as quickly as possible. Keep firing at that damn thing. Other than that, if you catch her away from her shield, you can discord her and take her down easily due to her massive hitbox and slow movement. If you don't have your own Rein to counter an enemy Rein's ultimate, reacting to the shatter after hearing
I'm good. I got it.
with the Transcendence can save your team from a full wipe. If you're expecting it, you can easily train your reaction time to counter it pretty consistently. Another tip is that when you're using Transcendence, do your best to jump in front of whoever the enemy Chine is about to charge so you can absorb it, and since you're invincible, you can walk out unharmed. When you're up against an enemy Roadhog, it seems obvious, but stay out of his hook range. If you can keep your distance, his hitbox is so massive that once he's discorded, you can really crank up the damage and farm your Transcendence. Against Winston, he's a huge counter to you if he leaps on top of you. You have to land every shot and minimize missing if you want to increase your chances of survival with no help from your team. If you're expecting a leap initiation, try to have your charged secondary fire ready and be sure to lead your shots because of travel time and his leap trajectory. Against Zarya, use Transcendence against her ultimate and the follow-up damage from her team. No crazy tip or trick here, just keeping it simple. The 1v1 against Ana at mid to long range is a skill-based matchup. Although Ana naturally has better accuracy due to being able to use scoped hit scan, it comes at the cost of moving extremely slow, letting you counter back with your orb damage. If she's good, she will mix in quick scopes to avoid that movement weakness of hers, so be careful. Also, her Biotic Grenade is a huge counter against your teammates while you use Transcendence, so watch out for that as well. Against Lucio, watch out for his boop while you use Transcendence because he can knock you away from your teammates, potentially preventing you from healing them or even knocking you off the map. He's fast and slippery, so just discord him and do your best to land your shots, nothing else to it. Since Mercy moves so fast during Guardian Angel and your orbs have a moderate travel time, it's quite difficult to consistently hit her from mid to long range. One of the best times to kill her though is during her res animation since she has to basically stay near the dead body for 1.75 seconds. Other than that, the obvious tip is to discord her while she's using Valkyrie, especially if your McCree is high nooning or your soldier is using Tactical Visor since it can drastically speed up the time to kill her before she can Guardian Angel out of line of sight. Against Symmetra, she's useless against you at range, so that's where you should fight her. If she latches her beam on you, you won't be able to outrun it, so accept your fate and walk into her and kill her as fast as possible. This is because if you have that instinct of running away while trying to kite her, you're gonna have one or two of your orbs hitting her photon barrier. In a 1v1 against Moira, I would not recommend charging your secondary fire since she can fade as soon as the projectiles come out. Just stick to the basics of Discord Orb and solid primary firing. In the Zenyatta 1v1, just like a few of the other heroes, there isn't a unique tip here as it's a skill-based matchup. Discord him and whoever lands more primary fires or headshots will win. That's all I have for you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. You can watch my Zenyatta gameplay live at twitch.tv/KarQ, K-A-R-Q, from Monday to Friday around 2 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching.